The sound of those gongs building up to that iconic Dragon Ball tune was one of the most hyping things I ever experienced while watching a show. And nothing's even happened in the episode yet. This is the power of the title card. You might be thinking, what in Hans Christian Andersen made you think that this was a good idea for a video? Let me answer that. It isn't. In a lot of cases, an episode title card is just text over a background, and that's boring. But at the same time, that makes it pretty easy for meme template fodder. Just look at some of the SpongeBob title card backgrounds. In most cases, the title card is mostly just supposed to give a hint on what the episode is about, so it's not like you really need to do much. Just having the title of the episode there is kind of all you really need. But then, this is where you get into the weird title card meta shenanigans. For instance, you all probably know how ridiculously long the Japanese Dragon Ball episode titles are compared to the English ones. This might actually be somewhat related to the meme of some anime series having long titles as well, in that titles are really being treated more like blurbs for the story. Now imagine that, but instead of for the premise of the entire show, it's written for a particular episode. Here's an example from Dragon Ball Z. Reunion. This is alluding to Goku's brother, Raditz, arriving on Earth. Let's see how Japan handled it. The strongest warrior in all of history is Goku's brother! Speaking of Dragon Ball Z, you'll notice that throughout the entire series, the same title card convention is used. Plain old text over a background. While looking up references for this video, I actually stumbled upon the old Ocean dub title cards for these episodes. I gotta say, these look pretty rad. It's honestly kind of admirable they ran the extra mile to animate the text and even animate their own background sometimes. Not gonna lie, this kinda makes me want to watch the Ocean dub of Dragon Ball Z at some point. Unfortunately, the Ocean dub only goes up to near the end of the Frieza saga, so the fun episode title cards end there. While most anime have the traditional looking title cards, some of the more long-running series, you'll notice that the title cards will change their style over time. Take the Pokemon anime, for example. This is the title card for the first episode, and the style they would continue to go with until about halfway through Johto. Just a simple template with text over it. Here's the title card for the Advanced era. You see this nice little navigator map showing the path our heroes are currently taking. It has more personality and is fitting for the going on a journey with your friends type of anime. And of course, the title card would change again several times with each new generation becoming more and more animated. So title cards aren't that expressive most of the time, so what? To tell you the truth? Point taken. It really doesn't matter that much. Something so minuscule in the grand scheme of things is not going to detract from the quality of a good anime. Like, at all. You want to know what must have spoiled me in this aspect? American cartoons. Yes, this is actually something that American cartoons actually do better the vast majority of the time. When I think of good episode title cards, my mind immediately goes to the likes of Danny Phantom. All of them resemble the look of a comic book cover, which is obviously an aesthetic that the show as a whole kinda tries to emulate, but that's beside the point. They exude so much personality, as well as an aura of mysterium, with that tune in the background kindly reminding us that he's a phantom. Another cartoon with good title cards is Adventure Time, always taking that surrealistic approach with the unsettling music, with more disturbingly detailed art than the actual show itself. I think there were other Cartoon Network shows that did this too, but I didn't really watch that much Cartoon Network growing up, so I don't think I care. Just a fun little activity, let's verbosify some of these episode titles in true shonen anime fashion. Ultimate Enemy? More like Danny's most formidable foe. Danny Phantom versus Danny Phantom? ? City of Thieves. How about Finn and Jake enter burglar's country. Stealing is wrong. Don't give in to temptation. All jokes aside, let's think for a second. Is there any anime out there that does anything like this? Completely unique looking title cards for each and every episode? Well, there are a couple that come to mind. Sonic X of all shows. I don't remember ever seeing these growing up, so I'm assuming they were removed from the 4Kids dub, going against my anecdote about American cartoons always having better title cards. Some of them aren't that amazing, just the Sonic X logo fading onto the screen on top of a background, unique to that episode, mind you. Other times they can go about it in a cool way, like the fucking Sonic bat signal, or the Sonic alert they got going on here. This one with the moving animal PNGs cracks me up. Whoa guys, it's the actual Sonic iceberg! I wonder how deep it goes! It wasn't Sephiroth who casted Meteor, it was Sonic. But if there's any anime out there with standout title cards though, it has got to be Bleach. It's been years since I watched the anime or even looked at the manga, but one of the most outstanding things that still sticks to the back of my mind to this day is the stylized title cards. They not only have completely different backgrounds, text faces, animations, art styles, etc. for each and every one, but they also don't even give the episodes proper names. It's literally just Bleach, followed by the number of the episode. One of the things I liked about the opening themes of Bleach is that they would plaster the title everywhere in many different fonts. They exude such confidence. This show wants to ingrain its name into your brain. And of course, this attitude extends to the title cards as well. Hell, this is something I'm guilty of to an extent in my videos. I always make sure to have a unique, snappy intro with my name in it with a different stylization every time. Coincidentally, Bleach would use completely separate title cards as their Eyecatchers, which is what the rest of this video is going to be about, by the way. Hell, I think I'll do a flashy Eyecatch right now. So what exactly is an Eyecatcher? It's a cute little flashy animation that plays before and after a commercial break. Eyecatchers are nice little transitions that make the transition into an ad break less abrupt. Hell, even some YouTubers I've seen have some in their videos and place mid-roll ads right in between. Because the most awkward thing when you're watching a video is when the person in the video takes a slight pause while talking, and then YouTube just automatically places an ad there mid-sentence. They're not really necessary per se. Eyecatchers are pretty much entirely for flair and not much else. But I've already proven so far throughout this video I live for this kind of stuff. So I guess the most basic of basic examples I can give for this would be Who's That Pokemon? You know that they really wanted you to remember these creatures. And remember them people did. Pokemon is now the biggest franchise in the frickin' galaxy, bruh. They wanted their monster designs to be iconic but easy to remember. I think that's part of the reason why people are so fond of the original 151 Pokemon, and even a good amount of Johto's Pokemon. It's because the show shilled them with this Eyecatcher every episode. The first iteration of the Who's That Pokemon Eyecatcher is a red background with a light blue splash almost spotlighting the silhouette of the Pokemon. The Japanese version of this Eyecatch was a bit more plain, sort of resembling the title card with the shape of the text boxes at least. Also, I will never not find this overhead shot of a Jigglypuff troll not funny. The Johto version of it simply updates the color scheme. After the first season of Johto, however, they would switch over to this design. This one actually more closely resembles a spotlight on the Pokemon. They would stick with this version of the Eyecatch until the end of the first advanced season. Who's That Pokemon would not make a return to the show until Black and White came around, but I never watched Black and White onward, so I don't care. Moving on. For most anime, Eyecatches are a very simple art. Sometimes quite literally just showing a piece of art in the case of Mega Man EXE. Though they would later have an actual little animation for their Eyecatchers. Princess Yashahime would also regress to just having artwork as their Eyecatchers, even though Inuyasha had proper Eyecatch animations. Again, I'm not trying to make a mountain out of a molehill here, I just felt like this was worth pointing out. Dragon Ball Eyecatchers are pretty simple. The logo alongside some characters doing some shenanigans over a solid color background. The Dragon Ball Z specials would have their own stylized Eyecatchers. The Bardock special would have up to 3 intermissions. The Babidi and Boo Saga would have these nice clips of the characters driving cars.
Let's go drive cars again. Yeah! Ah, bitch! Get out the way! Get out the way, bitch! Get out the way!
The Eyecatchers for Digimon mainly focus on the main cast's Digimon, as opposed to trying to get you to memorize all of them. I guess that's why Digimon never really stuck out to me as much growing up. I've been watching Tamers for the first time though, and it's not bad. For an old 2000s dubbed anime, that is. I too wish to become Biggest Dreamer now. The entirety of the Japanese dub of Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters used this exact eye catch for the entire series, and it somehow never got old for me. What does bother me is how you can clearly see the Millennium Puzzle is at a slight slant and not upright, and it bothered me for all 224 episodes. I've only watched a little bit of GX, and anything beyond that I've basically fallen off completely. GX just uses character stills over a gradient background. Speaking of other long series, I couldn't help but grab all the Sailor Moon Eyecatchers during my little collecting spree. I've only watched the first season, but I kinda wanna watch the rest of it now. If I had to describe Sailor Moon's aesthetic in one word, it would have to be pretty. I know that's not the most powerful adjective, but it is the most accurate. The full title of the show literally translates to Pretty Soldier Sailor Moon, so I think that's what they were going for. And even something as minor as the Eyecatchers is able to capture that very girly, charming aesthetic very well. Or maybe I'm just a sucker for pre-digitally colored anime style. Actually, yeah, that's definitely it. If you couldn't tell, I have a soft spot for retro media. It's what I primarily consume. I think the best kind of Eyecatchers are the ones that exude the most personality. The kinds that really show you what kind of show you're watching right now. I couldn't think of a better example than Gurren Lagann. I never actually finished the series. I stopped watching after they introduced this girl, I forgot her name. You wanna know what I didn't forget after all these years though? The rad-ass artwork for every eye catch, along with that sweet-ass tune. You can feel these Eyecatchers exude attitude. It's a show about 2 guys operating a badass mech, so of course every shot has to make the characters look like the most badass, ostentatious thing in existence. Or hey, maybe you want to do something a bit more productive than just flash some nice images at the audience. I don't know why you would want to do that, because it's only going to be on screen for a few seconds, but that didn't stop Attack on Titan though. They have these nice little trivia and lore bits with their Eyecatchers. These are pretty neat. I only ever watched the first season of Attack on Titan, but I like the art for these little lore dumps. Death Note also has something similar considering the rules on how to use it. I only watched the first couple episodes, and that was many years ago, but that's cool, I guess. You could go on and on for hours upon hours appraising years worth of Eyecatchers for a variety of series, both old and new. But I don't want to drift too far into media that I haven't consumed, so I'll just call it there. If you want to see even more examples, I highly recommend watching Evolution of Anime Eyecatches by Yoko Elf 2. It's 9 minutes and 16 seconds worth of anime Eyecatchers from 1974 to 2021. There's a lot of variety here, and I thought it was pretty neat, so I'll link it in the description below. So what exactly did we learn today? Well, basically nothing. This entire video can be summed up as me looking at a bunch of beginning and mid slates and saying Lamau graphic design is my passion. But in all seriousness, I've always been a huge aesthetic guy when it comes to any media I consume. I guess that's why I wasn't much of a reader growing up. Speaking of the other media I consume, I have another channel where I talk about video games. Mostly Megami Tensei, which also consists of Persona, which is a very anime-esque type of game, so if you're into that, go check it out. I also have a Patreon if you'd like to lend some extra support and have your name in the video, among other things. I'm basically already walking on thin ice for daring to upload anything anime related on YouTube, thanks to the copyright systems in place. To those of you who made it to the end, thanks for watching.